Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren if you're new here, and if you're not new, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. We've just hit 350 subscribers on my channel, so I'm really excited about that. It's a very proud moment for me. You know what? Today I am so excited to be doing this review because I really like this brand and it's an indie brand, so you might not have heard of it. And this was kind of an unusual product. So today what we're going to be reviewing is the Rituel De Fille 3-Drop Foundation. And the reason why I say this is an unusual product is because I've never seen a company do this before, at least as far as I can remember. But what Rituel De Fille did is they sent out an email letting people know, hey, we have special lab samples of this foundation available for a discounted price. And what that meant, I did not know. So I was like, what is a lab sample? Like, how is this going to be different from the finalized product? And according to their email, I'm going to be reading this verbatim. It says this lab sample release offers the opportunity to try a product first before the packaging and formulation are finalized. Gain an early look at something we are dying to share with you at a preview price significantly lower than it will sell for at launch, and shape the future of the product through your insights. So I was able to pick up this foundation for $34. I did have to pay shipping and there were some taxes. So all in all, I ended up paying $43.66. Not bad for a foundation, and not bad for a foundation that is going to be selling for much more than that once everything is finalized. So you can no longer get the sample at the discounted price, but they will be releasing this line pretty soon, and it looks like they're going to be retailing it for $56. So even though I had to pay shipping and taxes and all that fun stuff, I still was getting a discount on this product. And I didn't know what to expect. Rituel De Fille comes out with some super unique, super interesting stuff, so I was excited to try this. I wasn't stoked on the shade range. It looks like there's about 12 colors, so obviously not a very large shade range. And when I was picking out the color that I thought would fit me best, I had some issues. Normally when I pick a foundation, the one that I go for is whatever one is calling itself light neutral. I don't really have that many pink undertones, and I definitely don't have yellow undertones or olive undertones. So neutral tends to work best on me, but the only neutral one they had was in the lightest color, and it was white. It was just white, and it was not going to work on me. So the next shade that I thought would work for me is the third one in the line, and it is in the color Ceres, and it's a light with pink undertones. And when I got it, I was a little worried because even in the bottle, it does look a little deep for what I normally like. And I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. We're just gonna try this out. We're gonna see how it wears. If it's even the right color on me, I don't know. But let's talk a little bit about what they promised with this foundation, because it's literally called the 3-drop foundation because what they want you to do is only use 3 drops. And I doubted that. I was like, I don't want to use 3 drops. I want to use half the bottle on my face. No, but 3 drops just didn't seem like enough. And I was very surprised at what I found out. Let's talk about some of the other things that they promise. So how they describe this is a luminous elixir, and it's a gentle organic skincare ingredients artfully blended with mineral pigments to create an unparalleled complexion supporting foundation. Luminous Elixir 3-Drop Foundation merges beautifully with your skin for weightless coverage that looks and feels like a part of you. Created for all skin types, each chameleon shade adapts to your undertones as it imparts a naturally luminescent silk finish. So we're looking for something that's lightweight, luminescent, silky finish. You don't know what's on your face. You'll look a little dewy. It's supposed to be beautiful. And what I decided to do was to do a 3-day wear test, because I felt like that would give me enough time to really evaluate the product and decide if it was something that I really liked or not. What I wanted to do is I wanted to give the product the benefit of the doubt. So I didn't want to go into it using products that I didn't think would work well with it. They recommended using their own primer, which is their Thorn Oil Primer, which I do have and I do use. So I used that for one of the days as my primer. I used a different primer for the next 2 days just to kind of see how it would feel. But I didn't do, say, like pull out my Rare Beauty primer that I have been addicted to lately. Their illuminating primer is awesome. But you know, they were recommending an oil-based primer. That's their Thorn oil primer is very much oil-based. So I didn't want to go into a primer that I thought would maybe be a little bit skewed to not work well with the product. And what I wanted to do is I just wanted to wear my makeup how I normally would. So every day I used a little bit of setting powder in my T-zone to help it set. I did my makeup as normal. I did use a mix of powder and cream products on top to see if there was any issues. I know there are some foundations I can't use with powder because it just doesn't look great. Sometimes powder just gets cakey in places on me, so totally fine. But I am gonna go ahead and show you the 3 days of my wear test. I did check-ins throughout the day. I showed you what it looked like on. Yeah, then I'm gonna tell you what I thought of the product overall and what my final thoughts were and if it really lived up to the claims that it was saying. Okay, so let's get into the try-on. I'm just gonna warn you, the first day I tried this on was on Mother's Day. Was drinking a little bit of wine with my mom, so yeah, you know, a little bit tipsy towards the end of that video, but that's fine. I also want to say I have been dealing with the worst allergies I've ever experienced. Puffy face, puffy eyes, just on some Benadryl some of the days because it just was hard for me to function. I don't know what's going on, but that's the reason I haven't been able to film as much this week as I wanted to because I was dying from my allergies. It's crazy. Let's get into the wear test and then I'll go ahead and tell you my final thoughts. Hello and good morning, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there celebrating. It's Mother's Day today. I'm up in the mountains visiting my mom. And I just woke up, so I'm a little loopy right now. We drank a lot of wine last night. But today is day 1 of me testing out the Rituel De Fille Luminous Elixir 3-drop foundation. So I just got this in the mail the other day. I wanted to do a 3-day wear test to kind of see how it is. And I really like Rituel De Fille. They come out with some amazing, beautiful products. So I was really excited to try out this foundation. And what we're going to do today is we're going to go in with their Thorn oil primer. I have this little guy that I am still using and trying out. I actually have the full size too because I do like a oil for a primer. Again, I have really dry skin, so oil works really well. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and go in with this, and then I'm going to go in with this, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then we're going to do check-ins throughout the day. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I made sure to read the instructions before putting it on, just in case it was something new and unique, which it is. It's a little different. So the instructions on here are: shake well, release just 3 drops of product into palm, apply like skincare. Start by warming it in your hands, then apply gently to the face with fingertips by gently pressing onto the skin. For best results, apply after Rituel De Fille Thorn Oil Priming Facial Elixir, which is what I used. And I put it in my hands, I warmed it up in my hands, and I kind of pressed it into my face. I didn't love that, so I did end up bringing my beauty blender in to kind of even it out just a little bit. I don't know if they're big hands, but you know, I just feel like that's not giving you the best application, even with your fingers. And like, I kind of hate putting stuff on my hands like that. I mean, you can always wash your hands. That's what I do, but it's still like just a little strange. But regardless of all that, this is what it looks like on the skin. This is literally 3 drops product. You can see a little bit of pink still on my nose. I don't have any on my under eyes. I haven't done any sort of concealer or anything like that yet. And I think I am to do a little bit of concealer just because I'm looking a little dark under there. But I really like the foundation so far. It went on really, really nice. I was a little worried that it wouldn't sink into my skin at first as I was pressing it with my hands, but it did. It did a really good job, like sinking into my skin, and it's already drying. I'm still a little damp, but we will be using a finishing powder too, just to make sure everything sets okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do those steps. I'm going to go ahead and live the rest of my day It is about 10 o'clock. I had a late start to the day today, but I will do a check-in in the afternoon to see how it's holding up, to make sure there's no pilling or breakage or wearing or anything like that. And then I'll do another check-in at the very end of the day to see how it withstood a full day of wear. Okay, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in a little bit. Okay, so I wanted to do a mid-afternoon check-in. It is very, it's very bright where I am. I'm outside, so this is natural lighting. But so far, I think it looks really good. I am so far a really big fan of this foundation. I like it. It's super lightweight. It doesn't feel like anything's on my face. My face feels really like powdery soft. It feels nice. I did end up setting my T-zone with the Rare Beauty setting powder, so just in these areas to make sure that everything was laying down okay. You see a little bit of pink on my face. I didn't use concealer anywhere except under my eyes and on my nose. So you can still see a little bit of pink. And I think next time I want to try maybe going in with a second layer to see what that looks like, because this is just one layer. Literally, I just did 3 drops in my hand, put it on my face, and yeah, I'm a fan. So yeah, it's been about 4.5 hours since I applied it. Everything's looking good. I am having a really good time with this foundation. So we'll see what it looks like at the end of the day before I go to bed. I will do one last video to kind of show you what it looks like, and then we're gonna wear it again tomorrow. And I think, do I want to use a different, oh, they're motorcycles. I think I'm going to continue to use the Thorn oil priming oil thing, radiance oil, whatever the name of it is, because it works so well with this, and I am just really pleased with what it's looking like right now. So yeah, I will see you guys in probably about 4 hours to show you what it looks like at the end of the day. Okay, bye. Okay, doing the last check-in for the day. It is about 9:30 at night, so I have been wearing this foundation for $11 hours. Is that right? I think that's right. And it has worn off a little bit, but to be honest, not a lot. I am a little pink because, again, it's Mother's Day and we've been drinking a little bit of wine, so I'm a lot of pink in the place that I would normally see myself get a little pink after wine. But honestly, my skin doesn't look that bad. These spots are definitely issue spots that I have, and because I didn't conceal them, they've been pretty consistent throughout the day. This is my pink points, as I call them. So these weren't really covered before too well by the foundation. A little more than they are now, so there's definitely more pink showing through. My chin is definitely much more pink, but my cheeks, which normally have some issues down here, there's definitely some texture. There's some bumps. Those actually look really good. And my skin feels really good. It feels like the product stayed on it all day and continued to last throughout the day. So yeah, really excited to see how it wears tomorrow. $36 for a that I could potentially be wearing every day is a really good deal. Yeah, okay, so that's the end of day 1. I am more than satisfied. I'm extremely happy with this product. I'm just super stoked on how it wore on my skin all day. And yeah, we'll see how it wears tomorrow. Okay, bye. Okay, today is the second day that we are continuing to try out the Rituel De Fille new foundation, the Luminous Elixir 3-drop foundation. And I really have liked it so far. When I tried it yesterday, it was a great experience. I actually had no issues with it. It seems like it is kind of perfect for my very dry skin, but I don't want to say that yet until we continue experimenting with it for a couple more days. And I think what I want to do today is I want to use a different primer. And I'm actually going to use a primer that's very similar to the Thorn oil primer that we used yesterday, but it is from Hourglass. So today we are going to be using the Hourglass number 28 Primer Serum. And similar to the Thorn oil, it is oil-based, so it is very liquidy, like very oily. So I think it's similar enough so that we won't have any issues, but yeah, we're gonna see. Because sometimes you want a different primer. You know, you don't always want to use or feel like it's necessary to use a primer from the same brand. I know a lot of brands say that and they recommend that, but let's try it out. I really liked how the Thorn oil primer worked yesterday, but I just want to see, you know, we're just gonna see. So I'm gonna go through the same routine. I'm going to use my hands to put the primer on and use my hands to use the foundation, which makes my hands kind of gross by the end of it, but totally fine. And yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, so we've got it all on. Primer is on. I have the foundation on. I did, again, the exact same thing that I did yesterday. I put 3 drops in my hand, just like the instructions said. Warmed it up in my hands and kind of patted it into my skin. The only difference today is that I did not use a beauty blender at all. I just used my hands. And it actually went on pretty flawless for using your hands. Like, I'm actually really impressed. So you can still see a little bit of pink here. Which it does look a lot better than it looked in the beginning of the morning, but it's not fully covered up. I didn't go in with a second round of foundation. I really like how light it is just using the 3 drops. So I'm going to leave it at that, but I am going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a little bit concealer under my eyes. I'm going to put a little bit on my nose and just over here to kind of cover up those pink areas. And then I'm going to do the rest of my face and kind of live my day and see how it goes. But so far, it seems like this primer, because it's so similar to the Thorn oil, is working extremely well. And yeah, I didn't have any issues putting the foundation on top of it. So I'm really excited to see how the foundation wears today. We'll be doing a couple check-ins just like we did yesterday. And I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, see you guys later. Okay, final update for the night. It's 11 o'clock at night. So I have been wearing this foundation for over 12 hours now. Which is a long time. I need to go to bed. One of my space buns has just completely fallen off my head. But I did want to give you an update. I am still pink in my normal pink areas. So cheeks, the nose, the chin. I do normally just start getting pink at the end of the night too. But other than that, I feel like my skin actually looks pretty good. Right? Like, I feel like it doesn't look like I have anything on. It's very natural looking. And again, I only use 3 drops, so I barely use anything. But it's like my skin, but better. And I really, really like that. I look tired, so I'm going to put myself to bed. But I wanted to give you one last update for the day and just kind of show you what it looks like. It's not bad though. For being over 12 hours, I'm actually kind of impressed. It's still there. It's still there. Barely. It's holding on, but it's still there. Okay, well, I'm going to do one more day of testing, and I'll see you for that. Okay, day 3 of testing the Rituel De Fille new foundation. And today, I'm looking very shiny. I'm kind of a mess. I need to wash my hair. I need to run a bunch of errands. I don't know what's going on, to be quite honest. But ignore everything except the foundation, which isn't on yet. But I decided to use another new primer. The previous 2 primers that we've used in the other videos have both been oil based. So I am today going to be using the Vitamin Enriched Face Base by Bobbi Brown. And this is kind of my OG primer. I trust this with my life. It works for the vast majority of my foundation. So I'm hoping it'll work with this one too. We're going to find out. But I've already primed my face and I've kind of let it cool down a little bit. Dry down a little bit. I need some coffee. Haven't had any yet this morning. But I'm going to go ahead and put on the foundation. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup. I have like my eyes done, but nothing else is done. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, foundation is on. I did notice something right off the bat. It felt a lot drier going on with the Bobbi Brown primer versus the previous 2 oil primers that we've used, which totally makes sense. Obviously, you're going to have a slightly more oilier canvas to work with when you're using an oil-based primer. My cat is going crazy out there. I don't know if you can hear him, But I wanted to show you my skin before I put on any concealer or bronzer or anything like that. This is what it looks like. It still looks really dewy, even using the different primer. But yeah, I think it still looks really good. I'm a little bit worried about layering. That'll be interesting today. Because again, it did feel a lot drier putting it on. But you can see my nose is a little bit pink. It's not too pink right now. Actually, none of my pinky areas are as pink as they normally are. I think it's just because it's early. As it gets later in the day, I generally get kind of pinker. So far it went on to the primer fine, so that wasn't an issue. And again, it looks good. Again, didn't use a beauty blender, just used my fingers. And yeah, just want to give you kind of like a close-up. Like, obviously I have pores and a little bit of texture down here, because I am a human person. But I'm gonna go in with concealer. I'm gonna just probably hit my under eyes. Use a little bit of setting powder again, just in my T-zone. That's where I get the pinkest, and just where I like to set it. And yeah, I'll give you an update throughout the day to let you know how it fit or how it sits on this primer, if there's any difference, or if it's going to be the same and it's just going to be the best new foundation I've tried in a while. Maybe, we'll see. Okay, see you later. Okay, so I wanted to give you guys an update for how everything is wearing. This might be my only update for today, because, hang on. This might be my only update for today because he wants to be in it and he says he wants to make his own video. So I don't know what that means. No, but I've actually been wearing the foundation for about 7 hours at this point. And I probably am going to take a shower soon and wash my hair because that's like a whole thing. And I can't live in space buns forever. But just a reminder, we used the Bobbi Brown Enriched Face Base instead of one of the oil-based primers that we were using for the past 2 days. And my circles under my eyes are pretty bad right now. My allergies are out of control. The weather has been just up and down in California, and as soon as it starts getting warmer, my allergies are just out in full force. It's so rough right now. But I am kind of obsessed with this foundation. It is so light, so natural. It leaves such a dewy finish. Not overly dewy, because there are some foundations that I find that just look too shiny, a little too oily for my liking. But this one just looks like you're naturally dewy and fresh. And that's highlighter right there. But as you can see, kind of giving you a close-up as to like what my pores look like. My nose, again, like my allergies are just out of control. It's not looking great right now. I'm like definitely puffy. I need to go check some water. But the forehead versus what I was looking like this morning, I think it still looks really good. Obviously I do this a lot so you can see those lines, but other than that, my skin itself looks good. It still looks really like fresh, and it doesn't look like it's drying out, which I was worried that using the Bobbi Brown Enriched Face Base would dry it out a little bit, because just putting it on, I could feel with a drier texture. But yeah, I honestly think it looks really good. Like, my skin still looks like skin, but it just looks better. It looks, I don't know, it does look smoother, and again, it does just look fresh. It has a little bit of a dewy tint to it. So anyways, I have really enjoyed testing out this foundation. I am going to continue to use it because I think this might be my new favorite foundation. Anyways, I'm so excited that I was able to get my hands on this for the discount price too. So yeah, I am gonna go now, but yeah, bye. So that was the wear test. You can probably kind of tell how I felt about this foundation, and I was blown away. It is fantastic. It reminds me so much of my DIOR Backstage foundation. It is lightweight. It does wear beautifully. It lasts throughout the day. It's amazing. It's great. And you know what? I actually really love that I can use a oil primer with it because I just have really dry skin and I enjoy using oil primers. By the end of the day when I take my makeup off, I just feel like it helps keep my skin a little more, you know, supple and hydrated than some of my other primers would. Final thoughts. Let's talk about if it lived up to its claim. So it says the finish is slightly diffuse, subtle, dewy, and yeah, I 100% agree with that claim. Definitely had a very dewy look. I definitely found that the overall look was very, very dewy, and the product itself was very lightweight. Again, I only used 3 drops and it worked. It covered everything. When I did use the Beauty Blender on the first day, I found that it didn't work amazingly and my fingers worked better. I mean, that's what they tell you. They tell you on the bottle that use your hands and use your fingers, and it's true. And to be honest, I didn't want to believe it because, again, I don't love getting product all over my hands. I don't love the feel of that on my hands, but you know what? It was worth it. It got the look to where it needed to be. It was perfect. It blended in perfectly. Sometimes with a beauty blender, you can kind of, you know, if I don't blend it well enough, it's on me, but you can kind of see it around the edges, right? You know, it happens. And when you're using your fingers, everything just goes on so, so well. On the website, it does say there's an aroma. They say it's subtle, opulent, herbaceous frankincense. And it is a little bit earthy, but it doesn't last. So I do not like when there's a product I put on my face that has a lot of scent and that scent lasts throughout the day. That's not what I like. But I like that after I put this on, after using a little bit of setting powder, I really didn't smell it anymore. The funny thing is their primer oil is definitely even more earthy smelling. And again, it's the same thing. That smell does not last, thankfully. So okay, so it also says that it's a chameleon shade that adapts to your undertones and imparts a naturally luminescent silk finish. We already talked about the finish. I completely agree with their claims there. And you know, I thought this was the perfect match for me. And I did not think it would be because it has the pink undertones, which, you know, I don't really have pink undertones. It's very much neutral undertones on my face, but it worked super well. I didn't see any sort of difference between what was on my neck and what was on my face, and I was just really impressed with it overall. I would say I highly recommend that you use an oil-based primer because I think that's going to work best with this product. I would say my Bobbi Brown face base worked great. It did, but I definitely overall liked how it felt when I used the Thorn oil primer or even the Hourglass primer. It worked beautifully as well. Their primer is a little bit more expensive. So it's kind of really expensive for a primer. I believe it's $68. But they do have an option on the website to get one of the little sample vials. That was actually the one I was using, the little sample vial, for $15. And with the sample vial, you also get a $10 credit to buy the full size of the primer. So if you're interested in that, I recommend trying out the product first. Then you could get that $10 credit, and if you really like it, buying the full-size product. In terms of cons, I would say there is one that stood out to me, and it is the packaging itself. Now, it says this is a lab sample, so this might not be the finalized packaging, but I don't love the lid. It doesn't like coming off for me. And I can already tell, I mean, I have used this for about a week, and it's already getting messy, and it already kind of got on the lid, on the outside. So I feel like that is going to continue to be a trend. It's just going to be very messy. I'm not sure what they can do to fix that because I think the whole point of this is to get the 3 drops out, and this is the correct packaging to get the right amount into the palm of your hand. But it's not my favorite. I don't love it. It just feels like it's going to create even more mess, and you're already putting it on your hand. So if you can avoid some of the mess, then I think that would be preferable. But overall, this is just blew my mind. This is a beautiful product, and I am really hoping that they expand on the shade range. I think 12 is, I don't even know if that's like the base amount. I know it's expensive to come out with different colors, especially when you are a smaller brand, but I really hope when they actually launch everything that we see a couple more colors on there. I think that would be great. Not even a couple, like more. It needs more. But I was surprised that this shade worked perfectly for me, even though it's not normally a shade that I would go to with those undertones. I can't help but recommend this product. It was so beautiful and so lightweight. I'm wearing it again today. I just can't get enough of it. And Honestly, like getting it for that special price really helped because it is a little more on the expensive side once they release it. Again, it's going to be going for $56 once they officially release the line. And I'll be interested to see what kind of tweaks they make to improve the product based on what the feedback has been from the people who have bought it. I would love to hear what you think of this product. I would love to know what you thought of the wear test. Is this something you want to see more of in the future? Because I'm definitely interested in trying out more foundations, doing more wear tests. I thought it was fun. Even after a little bit of wine and even after looking like I had not slept for 24 hours, I looked a little rough in some of those videos, but that's totally okay. That wasn't the foundation's fault. After 12 hours, I tend to look a little bit knackered. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video and I look forward to hearing your comments below and I can't wait to see you soon. Bye.